I'm going to explain what I do when I say that I build food forests, native plant gardens for people, replace people's grass lawns. What does that mean? What does that look like? So, my company is Eternal Harvest. My name is Nick. I live here in Minnesota, but I build gardens for people all over. And the first thing I'll get into, basically explaining what I do, is what my mission is: animal welfare, healthy food, environmental sustainability, and beautiful outdoor spaces. So I'm interested in regenerative, sustainable agricultural solutions and doing food forest installation, native plant gardens for people in their yards, for schools, for organizations is how I'm starting to do that. But really, I care about changing our industrial agricultural model, changing the way we grow food, and in ways that protect the environment, don't damage habitat, build healthy soil. I really care about healthy food. I actually got into farming originally because I was into healthy food, went down the pipeline there, and I started to realize that it really isn't about like, oh, this is organic. Organic standards are meaningless. To get the healthiest food, it's by far way better to go to really healthy, high quality farms. That's what got me into farming. And yeah, ultimately, healthy food. I love nature. Animal welfare. I used to be a vegan, but now I just focus on getting food from the highest quality farms where the animals are outside their whole life eating a natural diet, oftentimes rotationally grazing, and I love to spend time in nature. So I care about conservation, but just also people having beautiful outdoor spaces. And so a food forest kind of does all of that. Like native plant gardens are great, pollinator gardens are great, but also might as well grow food while you're doing all that. So that's my mission. That's what I care about overall. Now, when you build a food forest for someone, what does that look like? A grass lawn, which is so common. I think there's 40 million acres of grass lawns in the United States. It's a complete waste of resources. It's total nonsense. We're dumping water into it, we're dumping chemicals into it. The reason I'm starting here is because I see this as such a good opportunity. We could take the same amount of energy and resources, the same amount of money, and if we put that into sustainable solutions, native plants, habitat, you can have these little oases of habitat throughout the city. And another reason for this, like, yeah, maybe that's not a big amount of space to restore, but I want to change people's minds. If we just change the way people thought about agriculture, about the way we relate to the environment and people's foods, policy would shift overnight. The same principle that applies here to industrial agriculture also applies. If we just change the way people would think about agriculture, we would go and start regenerating the soil, get rid of monoculture corn, start mimicking natural ecosystems, natural prairies, natural forest with integrated ecological agricultural systems. So, what does that look like? You can have regenerative grazing, rotationally grazed cattle that graze on prairies. You can have food forests at a large scale, orchards that look like a natural forest and have a fully integrated ecosystem full of wildlife, full of habitat. So, why am I interested in food forest? I want people to change their mind. When you have a food forest in your yard, suddenly you're that guy and someone's like, "What's that?" You're like, "Yeah, it's native plants, but it's also healthy food. It's also this, it's the future of agriculture." So, this is a way to spread awareness. It's in our visible sight. It's something you can do with the resources you're already putting towards. Maybe you pay someone every week to maintain your lawn. Maybe once a week you go out and mow the lawn and you'd rather not do that. You'd rather maybe spend a little bit of time once a month doing a little simple maintenance on your food forest. Ideally, the goal is to get it to zero maintenance. So these are natural systems. Now, what is a food forest? The idea here, which I've kind of hinted at. And now we're really getting into what do I do? So we started at the broad level. We kind of took it down to, okay, here's what a food forest is. Now I'm telling you exactly, like at the very most concrete levels, what is a food forest? This is a natural system. When you go into a wild forest, imagine this: there's no maintenance. No one's weeding the forest, no one's fertilizing the forest. Yeah, sometimes invasive species come in and we have to maintain balance. But a natural forest is fully self-maintaining. The ideal of a food forest is that after a few years, it's zero maintenance. It's a fully self-maintaining ecosystem. And so when you study ecology and you understand how a wild forest does this, that's something that we can mimic. Now, this is complicated, but I'll just give you a few pointers on how this works. Pest populations, even in organic agriculture, if you're constantly fighting off pests with even organic neem oil, organic pest control measures, it's a constant problem. The second the pest measure goes away, let's say you spray some neem oil, the second that wears off, the pests come back, and then you have to spray again. In a food forest, in a natural forest, pest populations are in balance. They're in balance with the ecosystem. There's predators to those pests. They have the habitat, they have the flowers they need, there's biodiversity, so the pest population doesn't just explode uncontrollably immediately. So when you take all of the principles that are at function, at play in a natural forest ecosystem, and you apply it to a designed forest that has edible plants, bunch of edible plants, fruits, vegetables, medicinal plants, that has all these native plants, but some non-invasive, productive food-producing plants, has wildflowers, it's good for the bees, it's good for pollinators. You have this rich soil. So the main difference, like, I mean, as far as the quality of soil, industrial agriculture is at the very low end of the spectrum. The soil is completely horrible, complete like 2% organic matter, completely deprived of micronutrients, propped up. The only reason we can grow crops in industrial soils is because it's propped up by these artificial chemical fertilizers that are devoid that are void of real nutrition. A food forest has rich topsoil, probably 10, 15, even more percent organic matter. Super high in organic matter, never disturbed by tilling, earthworms, nematodes, bacteria, fungi, a bunch of insects. Um, I could go on, but basically, the soil food web is its own little ecosystem. And when it's thriving, you have extremely healthy soil. It's a whole integrated system from the soil to the plants. You have trees, shrubs, ground cover, all the different layers, like physical layers, literally, of an ecosystem, of a natural forest ecosystem, are filled. And then you do that with plants that are good for pollinators, that produce food, that repel pests, that support the predators of pests. Plants that are just meant to build really good soil, that produce a lot of organic matter and bioaccumulate a lot of minerals. So that's what I do for people is I take their yard, sometimes most of the time it's a grass lawn. I design a forest ecosystem for them and I replace that grass lawn with the food forest ecosystem. Now, if you don't want a forest, we can take these same principles and design a prairie ecosystem. And what do you call that? Well, it's a very common term, a pollinator garden. A lot of people know about pollinator gardens. It's a lot more trending compared to food forests. Well, in Minnesota here, a forest is a much more common ecosystem, but some people just want a prairie in their yard. That's fine. We can design a prairie following the same principles, and you'll have a native plant garden, a pollinator garden. It depends on what you want to get out of it. So what I do for people is I look at what they want. Do they want healthy food? Do they just want to be good for some people just want to do something good for the environment and they want something beautiful. But ultimately, that's what so healthy food, good for the environment, beautiful outdoor space. You can have all three of those. Maybe you just care about the environment and having a beautiful outdoor space and you'd prefer a prairie. Basically, I just take these principles and align them to someone's needs. If someone wants a raised garden bed in their yard, that's fine. I'll build them a non-toxic raised garden bed that has natural wood framing with no treated chemicals on that wood. So basically, that is what I do. Like I said, I'll just summarize it and close off here. We talked about what my mission is, what exactly I do at a very concrete level for people, and I'll get into now that you've watched this. If you've gone this far and you understand this, this is for you. This is for the person who's watched this far. The way I'm doing this right now is that anyone can be an affiliate. What that means is that if you introduce me to someone who will get this food forest, then you can get a commission. It depends on the project, but I've decided on anywhere from 5 to 10%. For unless it's an extreme case, you should be able to get at least 7.5. Um, can also just pass off the savings to the customer. This allows me to not have to spend as much money on marketing and advertising. So if you are in alignment with my mission, if you want to help me with this is going to go very big places over the next few years. This is the foundation. The first step in my mission is just building people these food forests. So that's what I do. That's who I am. If you want to get in touch, if you might know somebody who wants a food forest, if you yourself would like to work with me, I also offer free consultation calls and free resources. So the way I do it is that I will hop on the phone with anyone for free, completely free of charge. And this is not just a sales call. I will talk to you about your individual situation. We will pull up the address of where you live, of what school you work with, whatever you're looking at, and I will take a look at the soil type, the local zones, the ecosystem, the angle of the sun, all these factors that I spent years studying and understanding because building a natural ecosystem, building a integrated ecosystem is the hard part of it. That's what I studied for years. That's what I've learned how to do. And I will give you my knowledge for free and tell you what you need to do. I will tell you what steps you need to take to do it yourself. I mean, there are middle grounds. I do sell designs. I can design it for you. But on that call, I will give you free information. From there, if someone wants to work with me, that's great. If it's not a good fit, then we'll establish that and it's great. But overall, this is just me trying to give free value. The more people I can do this with, the better. And yeah, I'll leave it at there. Last thing, if you want to get in touch, the way it's working right now, I'm going to set up better systems soon. So you can just click a link in the description, go put in your email on a landing page. I haven't done that yet. So bear with me. Some people might not take action because I haven't done this yet. Because I haven't set this up, all you have to do is go into email. So open your email right now and type in eternalharvestgardens@gmail.com. Eternalharvestgardens@gmail.com. That's 3 words, no caps altogether. Eternalharvestgardens@gmail.com. And you're just going to send me an email with a thumbs up. And if you want to include some information about yourself, that you might know somebody, whatever, please do that. But at the very least, just get in touch, just send that email, and we can go from there. Anyways, my name is Nick with Eternal Harvest. Thank you for watching to this point. Peace.